Okay, so we've got about 5 minutes left. What would be great? I mean, it's been very information rich this morning, and you are known and acknowledged and appreciated here as people who help people find their dream home here in Portugal. Can we condense it down into a quick sort of 1, 2, 3 steps? You know, if people are watching and thinking, okay, I'm ready. I hear what they're saying. I'm ready to do this. What are those maybe first 3 steps, the priorities people should take? Veronica, do you want to start with that? Do you want to move to Portugal? First thing to do.
Okay, so moving, not buying.
Can we do both? Can we, you know, what is the step plan with that? You know, you want to move here. Obviously, you've got to get your visa sorted out, but then you've also got to look for somewhere to buy or rent. So, what's the right way to go about that? What are you saying to people?
Well, in order to get a visa, you have to have already purchased or have a rental contract, right? So, obviously, you need to have decided where you want to live. You need to put in place how you're going to live there. You need to absolutely reach out to your CPA there and here to figure out your financial plan, because, you know, if you sell something there versus here, you know, how that's going to net out, if you're going to have any capital gains hits, any of your stocks and bonds that you're going to cash out to use. You know, we have people who say, hey, this is my home forever. I see that my investments aren't making money in the stock market, so I'm just going to not have a mortgage and put that into a house here. So it's different for everybody. You know, you need a place to live. You need to talk to your financial person, your lawyer, your real estate agent. You need to figure out what your plan's going to be. And then the next steps are, of course, relocation and working on that visa. So selling your house back there. I tell people all the time, sell your house with a rent back provision. It's saved so many people because you're not moving 2 or 3 times. You can sell your house.
That's a gem. Tell us more about that.
So the rent back provision I've done on 3 of my own homes. Now, it may not be legal in every city and every county, and that's where you talk to the person that you're selling with back home. Okay. Yeah. So, or wherever you're selling. So I even had one house in Newport Beach. The market was skyrocketing, which means I knew I could sell right away, multiple offers, crazy, you know, money, but how long was it going to take me to buy something? So was I going to have to move from that home to a rental or somewhere in the meantime to find the next place? Because I didn't want to do a contingent purchase, which you can do here, and somebody did here. But what happens in Portugal is you're now liable. You're going to put a deposit down. If your house doesn't sell, you could lose that deposit. The attorney will write that in, but that doesn't mean they'll accept that offer. Yeah. So what it means is you can stay and live in your house until whatever you've specified in a contract. The second contract goes behind the first contract. The second contract is your lease. So I put in my lease for moving here 6 months because I'd already identified where I wanted to live here. And in my lease in Newport Beach, I put in until I find a place to live. So a contract is 2 parties in consideration to bind the contracts along with your signature, correct? So when you're talking the legalities of it, you're talking about if it's legal in your area. Not every area allows a rent back provision. I put in it until I found and closed on a place to buy. And it took about 8 months to buy my place in LA. And the guy was like, are you ready yet? Are you ready yet? And I'm like, no, I'm still looking. Once it was closed and I had that close move-in date, I did 1 move instead of multiple moves.
That's so clever. That is so smart, isn't it? And you're not creating extra stress for yourself. You move when you found somewhere that suits you. That's fantastic. And you haven't missed out on a sale. That's the other important part of that.
Exactly. So people did that and they're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Because when we were talking 3 years ago, we knew the Fed, you know, in America was going to increase rates. They told us I think by November. And so we knew the next year they were going to increase rates, and they did. And all of a sudden, I think it was March, they did it 3 times and significantly, which kind of caused the market to go down. And it depends on your location, but caused the market to go down. It was harder to find a buyer. And that's where we had somebody here who thought, oh, I'm just going to wait. It's no problem. Everybody wants my house. If it hadn't been for our agent here who knew the owners and said, please, 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 they're really trying to sell their house. And then I kind of talked to them. The agent there didn't list it the way that he could have, you know, the way that our MLS works. He didn't put the oceanfront first as the first photo, because when you pull up an MLS, you get 1 photo in the description. he had like a wall. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you have this oceanfront place. They're pulling up 50 for sale right now. And you've got a wall when you have an oceanfront. So sorry, I'm wordy.
That's gold dust in there. Thank you very much for that information, Veronica. Thank you for being here this morning, and great to have you back in the country. Over to you, Carl. What would you say?
I think I do this every time I do this show. I sort of agree with Veronica. I mean, you've really,
yes,
you know, she's so great. I mean, you've really got to plan it out. I mean, first of all, obviously you've got to start with the visa. Look into that, sort of plan for that, and then definitely you've got to speak to your financial people, because if you make the move and you've not thought it through, you may be liable for different taxes. You know, she's talking about capital gains and things like that. It can sting. And just getting advice, just reading things on Facebook really isn't enough. That may be a starting point to sort of get you into the process. You know, I made some mistakes when I came here, you know, just by reading things online and thinking it'll all be good. Small things, but things that I would have changed if I'd actually looked into it with a professional, you know, so definitely do that. You know, it's got to be in that order, basically. If you don't do it in that order, then you set yourself up to fail, for sure.
I can't believe it. Just chucking everything in the camper van and driving over. It's not the right way to do it.
Well, if you're going to live in your camper van, you know.
I can't believe we did that. Right. Thank you both. Thank you both.
You had a home. You had a home.
But what, in our camper van?
That was a home, right? At least you had a roof over your head.
Well, that's
and
true.
If they said get out here, you could drive to Spain or somewhere else.
It's true. Yeah, with the Japanese camper van, though, it tells you it's like a 4-berth, but that's for little Japanese people, not for us Europeans with 2 adults and 2 kids. Anyway, that's another story for another time. Thank you
my flight.
Veronica. Yes, exactly like that. It's like being squashed in an airplane. Carl Hyde, Veronica, thank you so much for being here this morning. Have a great day, and thank you so much for all the information and fun we've had this morning. Thank you so much. Ciao, ciao. And I'll see you tonight. We're doing mortgages tonight with Vera from Mortgage Direct. So understanding mortgages in Portugal. That's the Expats Portugal webinar this evening, and a Dream Team session at 9. Take care. Bye for now, and have a great day. Ciao, ciao.